Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Strategic Command World War I, a new turn-based strategy and war game out by Fury Software and published by Matrix and Slytherin Games. This is episode number 27 of our Let's Play series, where we're playing as the Central Powers. And I don't have a lot else to say other than the war is going exceedingly well. We're on the doorstep of Paris. The French army is coming apart. The British army isn't in much better shape. Egypt is being overrun. The Italian front is being broken through and overrun as well. Things are going very well for the Central Powers everywhere. The U.S. is not yet in the war. That's about the only thing that might save the Allies for a few turns. But if the U.S. doesn't enter the war, it's pretty much over. Romania never entered the war, but Serbia, Greece, Montenegro, Albania all did, and they were all conquered. Russia was conquered. The war has gone very well indeed. And that's the situation. We're on the doorstep of victory. We're on the doorstep of Paris. And that's what we're going to watch here this episode. It is the final episode in our series. This was taken from a live stream from several weeks back. We're at the tail end of a turn. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it back over to the live stream, allow you guys to enjoy it as things unfold. And as always, please leave your thoughts below. And I'll catch you guys at the end. Tough luck, Italians. Let's go there first. Actually, no. Let's go to oh, no! Looks like Sandstorm may hinder our attacks. We're going to go ahead and bombard Suez. British morale is low now, too. Their troops' morale is rapidly falling. These guys, when the artillery's done, are going to be below 30%. Okay, we destroyed that guy. And we destroyed that guy. Nice. I don't think I'm going to take either of those objectives this turn. Yep. Not gonna take it. But we'll take Suez. And we'll badly shoot up a British warship there. We'll also have Cairo surrounded. So if the war continues, Alexandria will fall next turn. So will Cairo. Meanwhile, this destroyer is going to lay mines here. There's an Italian pre-dreadnought battleship out. I'm going to give them a little bit of some bait. I'm going to go ahead and sail my fleet out here. See if we can entice them into a battle of annihilation against a fleet that I think I have superior weaponry with. Not all these guys have upgraded to full strength, but enough have, I think. So I'm going to bring my fleet out here, and we'll see. We're also going to set these raiders here on the Italian supply lines here. And we'll see if we can lure the enemy fleet out. Meanwhile, in Italy... Man, I can't take Turin? Huh. They're too well dug in, I guess. Level 7 entrenchments. Maybe we should wait a turn to finish off the Italians? Let's bombard Bologna here. We only had 1 shell. No, we have 2. 2 shells. So we can drop their entrenchments to 4. 1 to 2. 1 to 2. Alright, so we destroyed the enemy troops there. Meanwhile, we're now advancing south. Breakthrough! Austro-Hungarian cavalry is sweeping south. The infantry is advancing toward Rome. We've totally broken through the enemy lines. Okay. So we've taken Bologna, which will hurt their morale further. We've also started driving south toward Rome. I'm going to move those guys down toward Bologna next turn. And we'll see what the enemy does now that they're completely cut off in the north and we're driving on Rome itself. Meanwhile, the French troops near Vichy. Enemy contact! Destroy! Destroy! Enemy infantry down near Marseille is very weak. Vichy has fallen. Avignon. We're moving toward Marseille, which is the alternate French capital, for whatever that's worth. French troops near Auxerre, or however you pronounce that, are gone. So we've taken that base. Reinforce those troops on the front. German cavalry swinging into the south, to the south near Orléans. It is over, folks. It is clearly over for the French. German cavalry has broken out. The infantry has broken out. Southern France is completely falling. Given 2 more months, 90% of France will be under occupation. The French headquarters in the rear of Paris have been destroyed. Paris itself is probably about to fall. Wilson probably just lost the election. I mean, at this point, if America gets involved, they're nuts. It's like, yep, the front lines are broken. And again, I forgot to use my air units to spot for artillery, although they probably wouldn't have been able to operate in the rain. So we'll just pretend it was deliberate. Paris has fallen. Trench these guys facing south. I don't even think the enemy has any artillery left. Alright, reinforce these guys. I don't even know what we should do with our money. By now, Germany's shifting. Germany has begun shifting its economy back into peacetime footing. Presumably by this point. It's like, well, what would we spend more money on warfare for? French cruisers are up here. British cruisers as well. Alright, so we just sank that British cruiser. And I ran my own battleship through mines. Nice. Battlecruiser wipes out that French armored cruiser. 460 some odd morale points. Okay. Try and hit that enemy destroyer with our pre-dreadnought. Ah! More enemy ships. We should check what's over here. Alright, nothing over there, so we can go ahead and sail these guys this way. Destroy another enemy warship. We'll just surround it with subs. Then they can't hurt it, right? Put cruisers in front of our battleships. Pull our destroyers back. Pull these guys back to harbor. German battleships, meanwhile, have been repaired. Some of them, anyway. So we are wiping perfidious Albion from the face of the earth. First, it was their armies. Now, it is their navies. I guess that's what I can spend my money on. Repairing warships. Invade everyone for shits and giggles. No, I think the war is pretty much over. The French morale's at 1%. We took Paris. We'll see if they move their capital to Marseille, but if they do, all they have is a very light garrison there. We've cut them in 2. Italy might fight on for a few more turns, but we'll see. We'll go ahead and end this turn and see what happens. I know I have a lot of stuff I probably still could do. Italian morale drops due to the fall of Bologna. French morale falls due to the loss of Paris. Germany celebrates the capture of Paris. British morale falls due to the loss of Suez. France surrenders. Whoa! Did we take the whole French? We have a number of commerce raiders preparing to sail in the next few months on long-distance voyages to attack enemy shipping in the Pacific and Indian Oceans. Preparing these vessels would cost us 50 MPP. Would you like to authorize the payments so that the commerce raiders can set sail on their voyages to harass enemy shipping? Yes. I've got money, why not? Are the British going to really continue fighting? Central Powers liberate Algeria. Yes, because the Central Powers were a liberating force, as well as Morocco. And Tunisia. Uh-huh. Italian Audace destroyer enters into service. Foreign minister reports success of the U.S. swinging at 7% to the Central Powers. Some of our ships are hit by rough seas. Liberate Wink? The Taoist movement is born in Switzerland. Okay. All right, Britain, you want to continue fighting on, I guess. Yeah. Did the British actually pull their battleship out of that port, or is it still in that port? British pre-dreadnoughts. Italian warships are engaging our pre-dreadnoughts on the blockade line. The British still have a beachhead near Normandy. Okay. So wait, did we conquer all of France? Because we got just a tiny sliver of Russia, but we get to keep all of France. Okay. Ah. Italian morale is affected by French defeat. Central Powers are raiding Libyan Italian convoys. U-boat ace Lothar von Arnold de Le Perrier wins Le Pour le Meret. Anti-war protesters assassinates the Austrian Prime Minister Count von Strucker. What? We're winning the war and you all love me. Don't you dare assassinate anyone. Oh, there it is. Central Powers major victory. The war is over. Victory! Victory! The Central Powers have won a major victory against the Allies. The war is over. France has fallen. Russia has fallen. Italy was about to fall. Britain had forces stranded in northern France. Kushin, thank you very much for the subscription. I appreciate it. And 5 months going. Does it let us look over the map? It does. Okay, so here's the situation across the map. Germany, meanwhile, basically took all of France. There was for whatever reason, there's an Italian headquarters in Nice. The British have a Dunkirk brewing here in Normandy, with all of their troops cut off. France had surrendered, obviously. The British Navy, meanwhile, had pulled almost all of their ships. They have one really distant destroyer over here on the distant blockade line. Nothing on the near blockade line. They had 2 cruisers here. They have a pre-dreadnought here. I think we might have sunk all of their dreadnoughts in Europe. Oh, nope. They still have an armored cruiser, a dreadnought, 2 armored cruisers and a dreadnought, and 2 light cruisers in the west. They also have 2 more dreadnoughts here in the west. I'm not sure, and another dreadnought over here. They could have crushed our navy so easily. Maybe they were bringing these back from the Med. I'm not sure. But that's a lot of battleships that they just didn't use very well. I think we were clearly had the advantage. We had this British battlecruiser mined into port in Italy. So we certainly had the advantage at sea in Italy. Meanwhile, in Egypt, we had the British surrounded at Cairo. Alexandria was going to fall next turn. Suez and Port Said already fell. They had quite a force in Iraq, but I think with all these additional reserves showing up, we probably would have driven them back. Hopefully, anyway. That was the one place that I wasn't doing great. As you all know, Russia already surrendered. So that's kind of it. Italy had some troops near Rome. We had kind of broken out, so they probably would have had Rome fall in the not-too-distant future. So yeah, I mean, it made sense that there was a complete surrender. Overall, I really enjoyed my time with Strategic Command World War I. I think it is a pretty solid game. I might do a multiplayer series with it. with either Tortuga or I don't know, anyone else who maybe wants to play. I'm not sure. I enjoyed it. I don't know if we'll do an Allied Let's Play or not. I do think that Commander the Great War is a better game. I know it's much older, but I do actually like some of the things. So there's for example, in this game, there is artillery limitations in terms of how much ammo you have, but it's tracked on a per unit basis, and there's really no sense of national supply. There is, in a sense, like you research some things that allow you to get more artillery rounds per gun, but I really prefer the Commander the Great War mechanic where you have a national artillery ammunition stockpile, because what that does is it forces you to make decisions about where you're going to deploy your artillery, where you're going to deploy your ammunition, where you're going to launch your offensives in a way that every gun having its own dedicated supply simply does not do. I do think the way the game works is it does kind of cause a little bit of an ebb and flow in Allied offensives where they stock up their artillery, then they go, then they stop, then they go, and as they research more technology, it allows a higher tempo conflict throughout the war. But I still think that mechanic of Commander of the Great War is superior. Additionally, I think the manpower mechanic in Commander of the Great War is superior as well. The national morale works to the same effect, but I really like the atmosphere that Commander of the Great War provides when your manpower keeps dropping. Every time you reinforce, every time you build new units, you lower your manpower. And over time, as your manpower gets used up, when you're at like 60% manpower, it's not 60% morale, it's 60% manpower. And what that can do is it can cause your overall economy to shrink, because as you're pulling more and more men from back home, you're reducing the output of the factories. Women might be taking their places, but they can only do so much. Food production might also be declining. And so I really like that mechanic, this idea of attriting a national manpower rather than just a national morale, which gets at the same kind of a thing, but in a very different way. I do like the national morale system in Strategic Command because it really can cause a degradation of forces and kind of cause troops and units and whatnot to sort of slowly fall apart over time. I think that's a really nice mechanic. I just wish they had something else that more directly reflected industrial output as it kind of falls apart over time. But overall, really enjoyed my time with Strategic Command World War I. I think one of the other really nice mechanics is using aircraft to spot for artillery. So then it improves artillery effectiveness. I think that's a really nice touch. Overall, the game is very well done. I really enjoy it. And we may see more of it on the channel, or we may not. I'm not really sure. With that being said, that's going to bring this series to a close after 27 episodes and a complete victory for the Central Powers in World War I. I hope you guys have enjoyed the series. I have enjoyed my time with you. And as always, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching. And for one last time, until next time, I'm out.